Another month has rolled around, and you know what that means in the world of Fallout 76. It's time to hunt down a brand new axolotl. For November, we've got the Speckled Axolotl, and as always, players are scrambling to figure out the best way to catch it. A lot of people make these axolotl hunts sound like the hardest thing in the game, but honestly, it's really not that bad. So in this video, I'm going to show you the easiest and most effective way to catch this month's Speckled Axolotl. Before we jump into the stats, let's quickly talk about how these axolotls work. Every single month, Bethesda adds a brand new axolotl to the game. This month, November, it's the Speckled Axolotl. Huge shout out to NukaKnight, as always, for data mining all of this info. Check the description for their full axolotl list. Each monthly axolotl only spawns in two specific regions. For the Speckled Axolotl, that's the forest region and the cranberry bog region. Now, you could fish in any swimmable body of water within those areas, so this can be tricky, obviously, because some ponds you can't fish in, but you'll have a chance to catch one of them, like I said, as long as you're fishing in any fishable body of water in the forest or the cranberry bog region. And as to where I place my camp, I'll let you know in one sec. But before we talk about camp placement, I need to talk about the stats of actually spawning one of these in. Again, shout out to NukaKnight for getting all of this info as usual. Check the description for their website. So as you can see on screen, we'll go more into this in 1 second, but just to go over the percent chances of getting the spawn in, as you can see on screen, with a no weather effect, you'll have a 0% chance to spawn one in with common bait, a 3% chance with improved bait, and a 13% chance with superb bait. Now, with a nuke weather effect, you'll have a 0% chance with common bait, a 6% chance with improved bait, and a 21% chance with superb bait. And with a rain weather effect, you'll have a 0% chance of spawning one in with common bait, a 5% chance to spawn one in with improved bait, and a 33% chance to spawn one in with superb bait. So as we could see, like I said, there are two things that affect your chances to spawn in an axolotl, weather being the first, the greatest chance to catch one if you're in rain weather, obviously, and if you have superb bait, and then the second one is going to be the nuke weather, and if you have improved bait. And obviously the second factor that's going to affect your spawn chances, like I said, is going to be bait. So you have weather and bait. You could go with superb bait, which is going to give you the best chance of spawning, or improved bait. Now, obviously, you may be a little confused. Let me just tell you, though, right now, the best option for you is to just have the nuke weather effect with improved bait. I know it's only a 6% chance, but you'll get one within 10 casts, I promise you. I've never spent more than 15 minutes hunting down an axolotl since they've came out with the update. So now that we know our chances to spawn one of these axolotls in, how should we go about catching it? What's the best location, and what do you need? Well, don't worry. Like I quickly mentioned in the beginning, there are only a few requirements for actually catching these axolotls every single month. The first only actual requirement that is 100% a serious requirement is the location. Now, like I mentioned, the November axolotl will only spawn in the forest region and the cranberry bog region. Now, personally, I chose the forest region to set up my camp simply because it's a lot less deadly than the cranberry bog region, and it's just a lot more accessible for everyone. So if you head on over to the Ohio River Adventures, you can place your camp pretty much anywhere on the empty riverbed. The occasional mirelurk will spawn, so watch out for that, but this is by far my go-to spot for any forest fishing, that I have to do. And I bet so many other players will do this on this exact spot also, so don't get upset and server hop. Just fish at their camp as long as they have the much-needed weather machine, which is actually a perfect segue. So there's only one piece of gear that you really need to catch one of these axolotls, and like I mentioned earlier, you don't need any mods, you don't need any specific bait, but you do need a weather station. Now, the weather station is mainly the thing that will seriously affect your chances of catching an axolotl. Obviously, you could use improved bait or superb bait, and you'll still be able to catch them, but if you don't have a weather station, you're kind of just screwing yourself. There's really no point of you actually fishing without a weather station. So I suggest you use a weather station that produces the nuke weather effect. I'm using the Mothman weather station in the video, and unfortunately, here's the kicker. Weather stations can only be obtained from two ways, either from past seasons or the ever-loved Atomic Shop. So there is a slight paywall to being able to actually catch one of these fish, but like I mentioned a minute ago, you can of course benefit from other players' weather stations. So if you don't have one, just jump around players' camps in the forest and cranberry bog region, and someone will have a weather station down that's either producing the rain effect or the nuke weather effect, and you'll either have a 6% or a 5% chance to spawn one of these bad boys in. It's really not that difficult. So that's really all that you need in terms of a camp setup. Moving on to bait and mods real quick, I suggest you do it with a Mark II. That's kind of the minimum that you need, and then go ahead and have some improved bait. I wouldn't suggest you use superb bait. Obviously don't use common bait, just going to be a waste of time, but I prefer to use the improved bait, and I bet if you do, at least if you have a nuke weather station or a rain weather station, you'll probably get one within 15 minutes, but it won't really be that difficult, maybe 20 minutes, but that's kind of it. You just need improved bait, a Mark II reel, have a weather station. Like I said, the nuke one's going to work best for you if you're using improved bait, which you should do. And then I chose the forest region to set up my camp for this one, because you could do it in either the forest or the cranberry bog region, and I specifically chose to place my camp right over by the Ohio River Adventure, and you can place your camp on any spot on the shoreline over here. Now that you have your location picked out and your travel camp set up with your weather station, preferably a nuke weather station, you're ready to go fishing for that axolotl. Again, use that improved bait and you'll be good. And now that's just it. Tips for getting a chance to spawn one in. It's not really that difficult, but how do you tell if one is actually on your line? And what can you do to better catch it? Well, you can tell it's an axolotl about how many times it jumps around and how fast it moves. That's kind of the two tells to, be able to tell what any fish is in the game. Depending on how long also you're fishing, you'll definitely recognize what fish they are. But an axolotl will move extremely fast and extremely often. It'll move around 6 times every a second, 2 seconds or so. So you basically have enough time to put your little cursor on it and then be able to pull it in for a second, and then it's going to jump again, and it's going to do that 6 times, and then it'll give you a solid chance to reel it in. It may move again depending on what mod you have or anything like that, what your reel speed is. But once you get it to calm down after that first encounter, after the first 6 jumps and everything like that, it's pretty much a guaranteed catch, because you'll be able to reel it in so much without giving up any lead. So just make sure that you're on top of it every time it moves within a second, and eventually it'll tire you out, giving you the opportunity to slow down and reel it in. That's really it. Just make sure, again, you're in the forest cranberry bog region. I chose the Ohio River Adventure spot. Use a nuke weather station, and that's really it. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents of the Wasteland. We've made it to the end of another Fallout 76 video. I hope you found it useful. Again, it's not too difficult to catch one of these guys. Everyone out there just tends to make it a lot harder than it seems to get some extra views and everything like that. But if you use this method, you'll catch it within 15 minutes. I promise you. You won't spend more than one little play session going after this guy, which you shouldn't, because it's just an axolotl. It doesn't offer any bonuses, and you're just able to put it up on your wall as a little trophy. But I hope this video cleared up any confusion. A lot of info out there is wrong about the axolotl, unfortunately, but check out the description for the NukaKnight's axolotl location article for every axolotl's monthly location and everything like that. And as always, I appreciate you motherfuckers for watching this motherfucking video, and I will see you in the Wasteland. Good luck with all of your future fishing.